Hey guys, this is Ashley Houchin. She is joining us this week. We're going to talk all things about how she really kind of decided to, with much agony, her and I were talking about this a couple days ago, with much agony and distress about how she decided to, how she chose a niche, I should say, and how scary it was from what she was doing to what she's doing now. So Ashley, thanks for joining us. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, first of all, if you would just give everybody a little bit of background about who you are, kids, married, all the things and what you do for your profession and how you kind of got into that profession. And then we'll move it forward from there.
Okay, I am a mom to five. I have five kids, four boys and a girl. Ages range from 1 to 16. So we are experiencing all of this. We
All
have
the things.
toddlers, grade school, and high school headed off to college soon. So we're in all the stages. It's very exciting at our house. And my husband and I have been married for 12 years. And I've been a massage therapist for 9 years. Before that, I was in the birth world doing placenta encapsulation only. Just for a few years, I did that. And actually, that is kind of what spurred on my desire to do what I do now. So then I went on to be a massage therapist. I studied lymphedema therapy. So I'm also a lymphedema therapist. And I do baby body work for fascial disruptions and oral ties. And then now also a clinical thermologist. So I like lots of hats that I wear here
So
at
you
my office.
have, so we'll skip forward. So Ashley has a wellness clinic and we're going to get to how she got there. But you have all these things and all of these, titles, tags, all the things that you do
Yes.
inside your women's wellness clinic. But you then went from placenta encapsulation, which you did when your kids were young. Yes. And then, so you went from placenta encapsulation, then went back to massage school. Then from massage school, you just started doing your massage business.
Yes.
And tell about that.
Anyone else because I didn't want to ever be paid such like the rates, I didn't feel good about the pay. And I also was in a situation, my husband had just gotten injured at work. And so I was in a situation where I kind of had to jump in and be the breadwinner because he wasn't able to. So I couldn't afford to work for a regular wage doing massage at Massage MD or a chiropractor's office, anywhere like that. So I just jumped in and opened my own massage business. I was charging very little, but much more than I would have otherwise made working for someone else, and it paid off.
So what happened when you opened your massage business? Like, did it take off right away? Was it like, how did you get the word out about what you were doing?
I think two things. This might not be a great answer. Word of mouth was a lot. I just really needed bodies to practice on because we were in such a bad financial position that I charged only $45 an hour for an hour massage because I just needed bodies on my table. And then over the months and years, I slowly increased my rate. But I would say within probably the first year of having my own practice, I was fully booked, maybe like 75% to 100% booked all the time, and booked weeks out often as well.
That's nice. So you, as a massage therapist, obviously have to have the skill to be able to do what you do, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have the skill. So you can't just say, "Oh, come see me for massage," and you're a crappy massage therapist. So like you knew the skill and you have the gift to be able to do that and you love it. So at some point though, when you were just doing your one-on-one, you had someone else working in your clinic, yeah?
Yes. I rented a space out of a spa for a few years, and then I went out on my own and I had an extra room. So I rented that out, just like pretty cheap rent, just so that someone else would be using this space and helping me pay for my rent. And I did that for 4 years.
And
And just
how did that work out for you? Like being a solopreneur, because a lot of times like practitioners get super stuck. They don't know, they're nervous, like I'm going to bring somebody else in and you're actually bringing someone in who's doing the exact same thing as you. So some people would view that as being like competition almost, right? What if she steals your people? So how did you navigate all that? Was that scary for you? Were you worried about
Um,
that?
it wasn't. I strongly believe that there's enough business for everybody and that everyone brings something different to the table. So, and this other therapist that rented me from me for a few years was excellent. She was a very good therapist. A lot of things she did better than I did, but then a lot of things my clients liked better about me. And we shared a lot of clients. People would bounce back and forth. Some clients I lost to her, some clients she lost to me. So I'd say it probably evened out,
Yeah.
you know, and we just really enjoyed working together. I think that, that made it helpful.
Yeah. So you both then, was she there full time or just part time?
She had the room anytime she wanted it. She was trying to build her practice too. So our arrangement was that she would pay me per session,
Oh,
that
okay.
she so that she couldn't afford a big flat rent amount and I couldn't afford to have nothing. So she just paid me for every session that she worked, depending on the length of the session, which
And
was on months when she'd be really busy. It was very helpful to me
yeah.
for my,
But then on the months that it was slower, then
yeah.
you had to pick up a little bit more of those overhead costs. And then that's like, wow, then you're feeling it.
She and I worked in the office together when COVID hit and we got shut down. So she didn't pay any rent for those months, which was like a huge eye opener for me. Like, oh, next time we're going to have to do this differently. Cause then I was on the hook for all the expenses. She wasn't working, so she wasn't paying me anything.
Right.
And it was hard, really hard.
Yeah. That's a hard part. So that then, so there was your like aha moment, like, oh crap, I did not structure this well. It worked while it worked. And then you go, oh shoot, it's not working now. And I need to do it differently. So then what happened from there? Then where did you go? And at this was kind of the point where you had to make some decisions. Yes.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to grow, and my heart had always been to have a wellness center. So I had actually put my feelers out for other renters. This girl that had worked with me, she also ended up having a neck injury, so she wasn't working for quite some time. So I was trying to find someone else to rent the room. It wasn't a really great location, and I really had a hard time renting it. And so I told my husband, I think my only solution is to move to another building because I think this building is just not optimal. It's not a desirable location. It was older. It just didn't feel amazing in there. And so I think the combination of, being yucky and in a bad spot was hurtful.
Well,
So
and two, when your heart is not there, you feel like disconnected and disjointed in the space, then the energy of the space is going to be off.
yeah,
Right.
I want to like it's a rundown building. And I knew I was like, I have no desire to invest in this building as a
Mm.
tenant because I know I'm not going to be here a long time. It's an old building. Like I just knew that it wasn't going to be a long-term space for me. So
So you,
started looking. I found this space that I'm in now, and it was way more than I could afford. Having just like a small waiting area and two massage rooms and a bathroom, and then like a little cubby where my desk was. And then I styled this place, which was in a better part of town, a lot more traffic, a lot more people knew about it, just about the area. And it was 4 rooms. We turned it into 5 eventually because my husband built me an office and then a bathroom, a really large waiting area, and a whole reception desk area behind it. And
nice.
I haggled a little bit with the rental price because I was like, I can't afford this, but this is what I can afford. And I had a lot of favor with the woman who was renting it out. So she was nice to me.
So you left your smaller, dingy spot and you
Yep.
came over to this big, like way more room than you really need. And your overhead is bigger. But
And I
what'd you say?
and I was alone. I didn't have anyone renting from me.
Uh-huh. And so that's a butt pucker moment right there. You're like, what am I doing? What did I just do?
I remember feeling like I was gonna throw up when
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I know this is where I want to be. And I know that like I know this is my place. I just
It felt like it for you right here.
really it was like
Okay.
this is my space. I don't know how I'm gonna make it work, but I'm gonna make it work.
And
So
so what did you do? So yeah.
gosh, I'm trying to remember all the
Well,
little details.
where I'm going with this is I really want you to talk about all the angst involved in what you ended up deciding to kind of niche down on, because that's really where I want to get to is how did you come to that decision? What
Yeah.
is your niche? And what was the anxiety that you had in doing that? And the wrong beliefs. The fear is if I choose something and I niche down and I specialize in something, then I'm going to alienate all those people. And you already needed them.
Yeah.
So talk about that part of your story because I love this part.
I'm gonna backtrack a little bit then.
Okay.
I actually started the last year I was at my old place, I started to niche down a little bit and work on less and less men. I just love working on women. Men are harder to work on. I don't like working on their hard muscles. They don't take as good of care of themselves in general. And they're tiring. So I was like, I really just want to work on women. I'd already had a heart for women. I went to massage school just so I could massage pregnant women. I'd already been doing placenta encapsulation. I'm a mom. So that was just already where my heart was. So then COVID happened and the vaccine came out and I was pregnant. And I was like, I can't feel okay about massaging people that have been freshly vaccinated while I'm pregnant because, well, I wouldn't have felt okay with it either way, but especially not while pregnant because there was so much we didn't know. A lot of it was all the speculation we were hearing, and nobody really had an answer. And so, just to protect myself, I drew that boundary and said, I'm not working on people who are vaccinated until I'm done nursing this baby, which I was still pregnant with at the time. So, I lost quite a few clients, either because they were that I made that rule, whether they were vaccinated or not, or they had been vaccinated and they haven't returned. And that's okay with me because they're not my person. They're not my ideal client.
So how was that? Like, what was happening for you in your head, in your heart, in your finances, and you're looking at this space and you just got the space and all of that. So not only are it just you, but now you got some rules.
Yeah. It was actually really terrifying I remember sending out the email being like, oh my gosh, what kind of responses am I going to get from this? And I got a lot of really great response, which surprised me. A lot of my clients were like, good for you. I'm so proud of you. I can't, and then they're telling their friends, oh, this lady's not going to get vaccinated. And she's also not going to take people who are vaccinated. Go to her. So then I feel like I got like a whole new group of clients out of making a decision to stop taking a certain group of clients.
Could we just stop like right there and just sit with that for a minute?
Yeah.
Because this is the moment for all of you. Like, we get so caught up in the what if the negative? What if the negative? Like, here's the bad thing that could happen. Here, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. And we put an and in there, and then we finish the sentence with the bad, which is what you were doing, which is completely natural. But then after you hit the send button and you start getting those responses back, you probably got way more positive feedback than you did negative. Was that true?
Yeah. Like hands down.
See?
Like 10.
Because what you really did was you just took a stand. And so you either have to be strongly for something or strongly against something, but there's no money in the middle. Where the relevance comes in your niche or your market is having a stand. And you just drew your line in the sand and said, for those of you that can line up with my line, you're my people. And if you, or your line over here, whichever way it is, but then you push away the people that need to go find someone else. And then the other people that you do draw feel even safer and more connected with you here because you embody their own values and ideals. I love that you had the courage enough to do that.
Yeah, they did feel much safer in my space because they knew where I was coming from.
Yeah. So now talk about what you did. So you niched down into, what's the name of your clinic?
Arukah Wellness.
Arukah Wellness. And your niche is?
Women only.
Just women. Any woman, any stage, or just pregnant women?
Well, any women, any stage. Personally, as a therapist, I have a lot of loyal clients who are probably going to see me forever, and they might be older, but my heart is for pregnancy and postpartum. So a lot of my new clients are pregnancy and postpartum clients.
How do you market to them? Is it just word of mouth at this point?
Well, we're doing a lot of social media.
And by the way, I've watched your social media and your reels are quite good. She did a very funny one with a bag of Chick-fil-A laying on the floor.
Yes, please watch it because it's hilarious.
It's very funny. It's a very funny. So I'll tell y'all or she'll tell you where you can find her. But anyway, keep going.
We'll probably appreciate it because
it's good.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So I niched down women only. And at this point it was still really only me here. And I was like, I need more people because I can't afford my overhead. Like my child does not support the amount I'm having to spend. And at that point I hadn't invested. I'd since gotten a new website and we're working on a lot of SEO stuff. And that's where a lot of our new organic reach has been from, which is wonderful. I'm so thankful for that. But then I found that as soon as I made the decision to niche down and have women only, I had a lot of practitioners approaching me wanting to be part of what I was doing.
Like other paraprofessionals.
Yes, like other massage therapists, lactation consultants, midwives, doulas, nutritionists, counselors, lots of all different wellness aspects coming to me wanting to be part of it. And I made the mistake because it's exciting when someone feels and sees your vision and they want to be part of something.
Right.
It was Well, it was good. It was a learning experience. I don't want to call it a mistake, but I was like, oh my gosh, you see me, you know me, you feel me, you understand what I'm saying. Yes, you can be part of it. So then I had all these people being part of it that really were just like hobby professionals, like,
Oh,
do this, like, 1 or 2 hours a week while my kids are somewhere else. And it was all moms, which I'm a mom, I get it. Like, we don't have all the time in the world. So I found that I had attracted or, excuse me, said yes to a bunch of people who weren't really serious about
like they're,
craft, their
yeah,
career,
yeah,
or out of it than just a hobby or something that they're passionate about. A lot
right.
of women are helping women. And I didn't realize that until I had opened this up. So I've unfortunately like had to weed through a lot of different people that just weren't serious. And now we have a smaller team. There's 6 of us, but I do have people approach me regularly. I just have to be more choosy and kind of find out
Sorry, that's my phone. Just ignore it. But you keep going. You have to be choosy about.
about, finding out how serious they are about what they want to offer people.
So when you first of all, I want you all to get that she planted her stake in the ground basically and said, this is what I'm for moms, I'm for women, and I'm for women in a space where they don't have to worry about any secondary effects or any quote shedding from the vaccine or transmission, spike protein issues, whatever. That's her thing. And listen, if you're watching or listening, that may not be your jam. It's completely okay. There's no judgment here. But I'm just saying this is what she chose to do. She said, this is what is going to work for me. When she drew her line in the sand and said, these are my people, all of a sudden it starts to create an energy that starts to bring other people that want to say, I want that too. I want that too. So now she's become a leader in the community because of her Women's Wellness Center. And she's got people that are coming to her. So she weeds through all the people to kind of find her jam about what kind of person that she wants in her clinic. So now, how do you have all of these more serious professionals? Like, how do you have this structured inside your business?
Well, I've done it 2 ways. When I first started, I needed help immediately with overhead. So I had renters and they were paying rent. Rent is high because I provide everything. I fully furnished everything. I provide a washer and dryer. We do all the laundry. I provide all the linens, all the social media marketing, all the web marketing. They have online scheduling. They can take payments through our payment system if they choose to. Everyone can set their own rates because I'm in California. So that's like just some really spectacular requirements.
Lovely, lovely.
So they pay rent. They pay a flat rate every month and they get all the benefits basically of not having the overhead that I have. I carry all of that for them. They don't have to put the work into their own advertising. None of them even do any advertising, which I think
Benefit.
huge benefit to me.
And you're still able to create the brand that is true to you. So you still have control of your brand, of your voice, your tone, your funny, video that you did laying on the floor with a bag of Chick-fil-A, right? I loved that one, by the way. It's one of my favorites. So anyway, but you're still able to kind of put the humor in, make it you, and people want to connect with you. So your paraprofessionals that are coming in, obviously that's why they contacted you, is because they like your stake in the ground, right? Your position, and they identify with that. But they think about this, they get to come in and serve the people and you're leading the way. But yet they're coming in and helping support your vision by covering your overhead and providing a better experience for the people that come and see you. So what kind of professionals do you have? You're a massage therapist, you do thermography, and quite a good thermography person, I understand. So massage, thermography, placenta encapsulation, lymphedema work. Yeah.
For physical therapy
We
and
have a pelvic floor PT.
public
Yep.
therapist. Yeah.
Perfect for women.
Yes. And an esthetician.
Nice.
And we're working on trying to get some counseling in here because I would love to have a therapist in here.
Yeah.
I have many things I want to add, but that's one of the important ones for me. And then we do refer out a lot for lactation and chiropractic.
So do you refer to people who also have your same kind of niche? So they're going to someone who also really specializes in women.
Well, yes, the chiropractor, Neil.
Yeah. Neil
Houchin Denny.
Houchin Denny. I had him on the podcast previously. So if you want to listen to my recording with him, yeah, he's amazing. He's a unicorn of unicorns. That guy is. Yeah.
His niche and specialty is babies and moms. So it's like a perfect marriage for referrals. And we do a lot of the infant body work that we do here is for addressing tongue and lip ties and oral restriction, just overall oral restriction and fascial restriction in babies. So the lactation consultant that we partner with is also very well versed and savvy with oral restriction and fascial care. Most lactation consultants aren't, unfortunately, but we found one that is. So
Oh, that's so good. So now you've really kind of developed your community or your network, and you have them pay rent, space
mhm.
rent, right? So they're not independent contractors, because for you in California, you can't do that anymore. So you could do space rent though. So that's good. So you've got that all set up. So what's next for you? Like, where do you see the gap other than looking to bring in a counselor? So that's your next kind of go-to place. What's next for Ashley and Arukah Wellness?
Where I see my gap and where I'm working to figure out is figuring out that with a renter, I am capped with my income potential. If I have a renter that's renting the room 4 days, I actually do 7-hour shifts because no massage therapist or physical therapist really wants to work 8 or 9 hours a day. It's so
Right.
hard. My renters rent in 7-hour shifts. They get 4 a week, and that is $700 a month. And it doesn't take up my whole day because we're open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So really, I can split my day up into 2 shifts, 7 to 2 and 2 to 9. So I have a lot of gaps where there aren't people working. There's not even anyone to work. If someone were to want a massage,
Anybody available?
not even anyone here. And we're at the point now where we have traction because of our word of mouth, our SEO, our social media reach, and we're gaining some traction and we're getting a lot of calls, people just finding us online. I've got to find some therapists who are hourly because I need to be able to grow financially, which I'm, like I said, I'm capped with renters. I can only make so much off of them. As in California, I can't make a commission off them, a flat commission off of a renter or an independent contractor. So I have to have employees, and that's been a challenge, is finding someone who is passionate about women, who loves what I love, but also is willing to not have their own business and not do all of the hard work themselves.
Right. So if you were to bring somebody in, you would maybe find someone who wanted to work, like, let's say Tuesday and Thursday evening or something like that. You would just fill in that little gap. So the goal obviously is to have your schedule at an 80% capacity from
Mhm.
your during your open hours, the 14 hours of your day. So you've got 7 hours in the morning and the 7 hours in the afternoon. So finding those little people, how do you feel about bringing on employees? Because you have one employee now.
I have three. I have an admin, and I have one massage therapist, and our esthetician is an employee.
Oh, okay. So you have three. So
Yeah.
you would, yeah. So that employee thing is not new to you at all. Like, you're good with that.
I have a background in retail, so I'm really thankful for that because I think without that, I would be struggling a lot
Yeah.
more.
What,
Is it
yeah, go down that road. I really want you to talk about why you think that background in retail and where you would have struggled, and what is it, what is the skill that the retail gave you that's coming in handy now? Because I think sometimes as business owners, dealing with employees is a challenge. So
challenge?
talk about that.
Well, I know for massage therapists in general, they struggle with the ability to provide customer service. Like they just don't, they know how to work on someone's body and send them out the door, but they don't know how to connect with them in a conversation or even have like good bedside manner. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
And so I've had to do, like our massage therapist now, I had to do a lot of coaching and training with her. And even if that's a lot of role playing, she's only worked for small massage MB or massage heights places where she's making minimum wage. And she literally brings the client back, massages them, sends them out front. Someone else checks them out, rebooks them if they want to rebook. She doesn't do anything, like nothing.
No, she just didn't even know.
No idea. And I didn't know that when I hired her because in my head, I'm thinking, this is just what you do when you're a massage therapist. You just are
Yeah.
kind and welcoming and you nurture everybody and you make them feel happy and you make them feel like you're happy to see them. And she was like, it didn't occur to her. Like the basic customer service was just not present. So my retail background, I managed a few different retail stores, and that was huge for me because I think without that background and understanding how to work with employees and how to coach people and teach people and even work on client retention, I would have struggled a lot more than I am. With
That
coaching.
is, that's so good, because it's really, we sometimes walk in assuming that someone knows how to do something. So
Yeah.
now how in the future, how can you include some of that in your screening or your hiring process? Because you didn't know. So now you're probably a little bit more aware. So what would you do different now?
I would do role playing in the interview process. I'm a client. I've walked in the door. How is this going to go? And then I'm leaving. How is this going to go? And do a little bit of role playing to see if they know how to even handle a situation like that. Everyone, well, not everyone, most people are coachable. So even if you have someone in your interview that's not super strong in the area, they might have zero experience. Like this girl that I've hired, she's an excellent therapist. I would hire her again, but it's just taking more work than I thought to get her,
Up and running.
yeah, to where clients are like, she's very sweet. Before everyone said, she's very timid. She's so quiet. And she, even to the point where she like blatantly asked someone, did you want to leave a tip? Because she didn't have for herself. She
Oh,
didn't like the, she just didn't have the skill set. No one had taught her, like, that's really rude.
yeah.
You can't do that.
You don't ask for your own tip. Yeah.
You don't have tip. You hand them the thing. If they leave you a tip, great. If they don't, great. If they forgot and they remember later, great. Like you just, you know, you have to do it all yourself though here. So that's the other thing we do differently with our employees, because we don't have a front desk person all the time. They have to check their clients out themselves. Most places, the massage therapist gives like just under an hour massage and then they send their person up to the front. They give a full 60. It's really important to me that everyone gets a full hour facial and massage. And then they walk their client up to the front and they do the whole checkout process there, which is a whole nother learning curve.
Right. That's for someone who doesn't have good customer service. That then you have to have conversation. Then you have to deal with the charges and talking about money and taking money and rescheduling and how all the things that go along with that. So yeah, you probably had your work cut out for you. Is there a way that you could automate that training? This is just my business mind thinking, but is there a way that you could automate that or make it almost like this is how we communicate. It's an SOP or a system in your practice that this is how we interact with people so that it's consistent person to person to person.
Yeah. We are working on putting videos together, like role play
Good.
video.
Good.
Part of it.
Yeah.
And then obviously through the interview process, I'll find out if they have that skill set at all or not.
Right.
If it's
Now
so.
that you know to role play that because you just assumed that was what she was good at and she wasn't.
To me, it's common sense, but I was in retail starting in high school for 10 years. So
Yeah.
no, it's common sense to me, but I didn't know that it wasn't.
For everybody. Well, Ashley, I am so glad that you are here. Now I have a big surprise for all of you that are listening. She's dropping her head because she knows what I'm going to say. You okay with this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So full disclosure, Ashley is my daughter. So yeah, so she is my number 2 daughter and just loves mamas just like me. So you can see that the, apple didn't fall far from the tree. So anyway, now I'm getting a little teary because I'm just so happy that you agreed to come on and share your story. And obviously I've kind of walked with you through this. So I didn't want to let that cat out of the bag in the beginning because I really wanted people to hear you for what you had to say and not that I was, because really you just traversed this so gracefully and through all of the sticky parts and the hard parts and the, how am I going to do this moments and crying moments and all the things, what have I done? Being a business owner is not easy all the time. Being a clinician is not easy all the time. Knowing how to grow a practice is not easy all the time. So I wanted you all to hear that from, needing money, charging not enough, but needing bodies on the table to get practice and to get cash in the bank, to charging a little bit more and building a brand and then struggling to find your niche and then finally figuring it out and then having to make a hard decision and draw a line in the sand. And then you polarize your people and then you've now polarized everybody, right? You've got your people that love you and people that hate you and you're still like, I don't have any money. I got to do. And it's just when you stay true to what is right here, it will follow. But you, Ashley, you just stayed really clear about who you wanted to serve. And you just didn't let things get in the way. And now here you are growing a business and building it the way that you want, because it's important to you to have 60-minute treatments. Nobody else does that.
I hate that. I don't want to go get a 15-minute massage. Don't jit me. I want an hour. A 90-minute? No, I want the whole thing.
Yeah. So because that's what's important to you. So I just love that. And I want you all to really hear that. Like that was a thing for her that just caused the greatest amount of passion. That's the passion in her is what is driving her and has allowed her to really create a super successful wellness practice. So Ashley, thanks for being on with me.
Thanks.
It's always good when a mom and a daughter get to hang out together. That's always super fun. So, all
Bye.
right, guys, thank you so much. All right. Much love to you all. See you later. Bye.
Bye.